And there's my cat. Meow, 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 meow. What, do I bore you? Hello everyone, so I am back with you today to make sort of a new video that hasn't been introduced to my channel yet, but recently I have been really inspired by the booktubers on YouTube, and I've been doing a lot of reading myself. I've had a lot of spare time recently, so I've been getting back into my old reading habits and I've been enjoying it, so I wanted to share some of my favorite books with you. So I'm here to show you my bookshelf tour. There are a lot of books on my bookshelf and it's quite a mess right now just because I need a bigger bookshelf and I haven't really been able to organize it in such a way that it makes sense. But I will show you the way it is and I hope you enjoy it. Here we go! Guys, so welcome to my bookshelf. Sorry if the lighting's a little funny or if I'm talking a little bit quietly because I am right beside my front door, which is a little awkward considering my neighbors live just across the hallway and I'm talking to myself, but we will get over that soon. Okay, so this is what we have to work with here. This is my bookshelf. I need another one. You'll see that lots of books are stacked on top of each other and it's just not pleasant and I feel bad for my books. So I'm going to get them a new space soon. But starting at the top, I just have a bunch of textbooks, nothing really that interesting, and some board games that we like to play when we have friends over. And so we'll start the tour down here. So this is my classic shelf. The very first book I have over here is Margaret Atwood's Mad Adam, and this is a book that I got from Indigo and it is autographed. So I was pretty excited about that. Let's just flip right there. So the front page is autographed there by her. And so that's one of my favorites. And I love this series, everything about this series. Next to it I have Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. And this was one of the first books that got me interested in reading Margaret Atwood. I read it in my grade 11 English class a long time ago. And then here are the first two books from the Mad Adam trilogy that I just showed you. So I have The Year of the Flood as well as Oryx and Crake, which is the first one. Next I have Margaret Atwood's Blind Assassin, and then Margaret Atwood's Edible Woman, and then just another copy of Margaret Atwood's Oryx and Crake. We'll go up here now. So up here I have Anne Rice, Interview with the Vampire. This was a book that I had to read for my, what was it? It was like pop lit in my first year of university. I have The Black Stallion by Walter Farley, and this is a book that I've had since I was a really little kid. Then I have The Greek Gods. Then I have two copies of The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Sorry, I am terrible at pronouncing names, so if I mess them up, I apologize in advance. So that is Paulo Coelho, and this was a nice short read. I don't think it was worth all the hype that it got though. And then next I have A Passion for Narrative by Jack Hodgins, and this was again another novel for a creative writing class I took in university. Next up I have, sorry if this video is really shaky too, by the way, I don't have a tripod, so this is what we have to work with here. So next up I have Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. This is one of my favorite books. I absolutely love the passage in the beginning. The first page is probably my favorite first page of any book ever. Next I have A Study in Scarlet by Arthur Conan Doyle, and this is the first in the Sherlock Holmes series, another one of my favorites. I read this for my pop lit class in university. And then next I have The Histories by Herodotus. I am absolutely butchering these names. Okay, Herodotus, and I haven't read this yet, but I thought it was a really cool book, so I picked it up because it was free from like a discard bookshelf or discard library bookshelf or something like that. Next I have Virgo, the Aeneid, and this again was another discarded book I got from a library. Next up I have George Orwell's 1984. Then I have E.M. Foster's Aspect of a Novel, which is another book for one of my English classes. And then we'll start up here. So I have Ian McEwan's Atonement, a beautiful, beautiful copy of War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. And then I have The Essential Keats. This is just a Keats book of collected poetry. T.S. Eliot collected poems. I have Emily Dickinson, another collection of her poems as well. And Emily Dickinson is my favorite poet. I adore her poetry, and I often find inspiration just by flipping through a random page in this book and picking a poem. Edgar Allan Poe's Complete Tales and Poems. This book is massive, as you can see. Once again, another one of my favorite authors. He's really dark in his writing, but he's also very beautiful. Annabel Lee, which is a poem, kind of short story that he wrote, is my absolute favorite. You should take a look. Risking Everything, 101 or 110 Poems of Love and Revelation. And this is another poetry book with random poems in it. What I do in this book is when I'm having a down day or even a happy day or just a day when this book speaks to me, I will open it up and I will read the next poem, and then I will write about how it is relating to how I'm feeling at the moment. And yeah, it's just a really personal book, and I really enjoy it. It has helped me get through a lot of things. Next up, I have kind of a combination book here. This is A Tale of Two Cities and Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. The Iliad by Homer, and this is another one on my TBR list. I definitely want to read that soon. And then at the bottom, I have The Best Poems of the English Language by Harold Bloom. And this is just a look through and commentary of poems in the English language and discusses them and how they have been of influence in the English language. And then at the end here, I have one of my favorite classics ever. This is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. And yeah, it's just beautiful. It's got a ribbon on it, and I love this book. I love this story. Everything about it is great. And it's worth having the non-annotated version because it's the way that it was actually written, and it is beautiful if you can, you know, take the time not to read the annotated version. Okay, so next down here I have an assortment of books. These are mostly favorite books, a favorite series. Sorry about that. Favorite books and favorite series, and I've got these double stacked here because I'm running out of bookshelf space, and they will find a new home soon. So these ones here are a newer series that I've gotten in the past probably month. Here I just got the movie edition of the Lord of the Rings books. I'll just show you the covers. So there's The Hobbit, there's the Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, there's the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and the Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And I bought these in a box set at a used bookstore for a really good deal, and I've been looking for a set of those books for a long time. I found this at a bookstore called B&V, and we have a lot of those in Toronto. It's like a used bookstore, and they also source from publishing companies and things like that for books that they can't sell in chapters and places like that. So you get a discounted price on them. And so I picked up the Maze Runner trilogy. I've heard a lot about it on BookTube recently, and I've been kind of in a young adult kick, which, as you can see by a lot of my books on here, isn't very usual for me. But yeah, I've just been running through that and really enjoying it. I haven't read these yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So I have the Maze Runner, I have the Death Cure, and I have the Scorched Trials. So, and then on the bottom here, I have my favorite graphic novel of all time. And I've been looking to pick this up for a long time. I found it at BMV for 75% off of its regular price, so I had to get it right away. And it was just because it has that little dot in the bottom, which is fine with me. But yeah, so this is Blankets by Craig Thompson. Okay, so next up I have some more classics that I've just kind of thrown here because I'm running out of space on my bookshelf. But I have Dearest Cousin Jane by Jill Pertketley, an autographed copy of My Mother's Secret by J.L. Witterick, Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne-Jones, and I just recently found out that this is a series, and I have known it from Studio Ghibli movies, which I am also a huge fan of. So I thought I'd pick it up and give it a try, and this is on my TBR as well for within the next couple of weeks. Up I have World War Z by Max Brooks, and this isn't my book, but it's there. Memory Keeper's Daughter by Kim Edwards. One Day by David Nicholas. Terrible, terrible, terrible book. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. So wonderful, so beautiful, so excited for the movie. So excited for the movie. Next I have Looking for Alaska by John Green. Now I read halfway through this book and I really enjoyed it, but when I got to the middle-ish part, if you've read this, you'll know what I'm talking about, the big event in the middle of the book that stirs everything up. I absolutely, I just couldn't take it. I don't know if I was in a, can't read classic books kind of, or can't read sad stories kind of mood, but I couldn't get through it. I put it down. I stopped reading it. It was just too much for me. I have An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. Paper Towns by John Green. The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. And this is one of my favorite romances, also one of my favorite movies. Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. And if you were to ask me what my favorite book is, it would either be this or Harry Potter. Next I have The Reader by Bernard Seelank. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And he is also another one of my favorite writers. I absolutely loved the novel Love in the Time of Cholera. I don't have it, but I would love to add it to my collection. Amy McKay's The Birth House. The movie edition of Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. And then I have George R.R. Martin's A Game of Thrones, which is on my TBR, and I will be reading that soon because I really, really, really want to get into an epic fantasy. Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. This is another used bookstore find. It's kind of a little beat up, but it was the whole Chronicles, and I didn't have it in my collection, so I picked it up. It was really cheap. And The Hobbit. I have a lot of doubles. This was one that I got before I got the box set. Okay, and over to my J.K. Rowling novels. I have The Beetle and the Bard by J.K. Rowling. The UK, I believe, edition. Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone. Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban. Monster book Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And why are these out of order? Okay, sorry, they're out of order. And Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, which comes before the Deathly Hallows. Okay, and then down here I have The Cuckoo's Calling, under J.K. Rowling's pen name, which is Robert Galbraith. And I have J.K. Rowling's The Casual Vagrancy. And then in this corner over here, I have a picture book that I found at a manga store, and it is My Neighbor Totoro. And this is a picture book companion to the movie by Studio Ghibli, and it is absolutely beautiful, and I fell in love with it when I saw it, so I had to pick this up. Yeah, it's got facts about the Totoro and the cat bus and all of the characters, and it is so cute, and I can't wait for my children to read it someday because they're going to love it as much as I do. Okay, so I just took a moment to put my bookshelf back together and grab 2 books off my nightstand that are currently being read. I have here Steve Erickson's Garden of the Moon, which I'm not reading, my partner is reading, and I plan to maybe read this sometime in the future, but I don't know about that. Initially, I was going to read it, not him. And then, sorry, it's dirty. And then I have Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, and I'm loving this book so far. I am almost done. As you can see, probably finish it tonight. And it is a great read for anyone who just wants a nice, casual, light sort of love story read. So now we're going to move down to my next bookshelf, which has a lot of randoms, a lot of favorites. Once again, I need another bookshelf, so this would all be better organized once I get another bookshelf. So up here I have The Impressionist by Harry Kunzuro, The Black Arts by Richard Cavendish, and my partner found this in a used bookstore and he really liked it, so he picked it up. One of my partner's books, Master and Margarita, and this is by Mikhail Bulgakov. Then I have The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. It's for my grandma because she doesn't really know what books I want to read, but these are super cute and I love them anyways. And they are fun to flip through sometimes. So I have The Book of Awesome by Neil Perichka. Then I have The Book of Holiday Awesome. Alice, I Have Been by Melanie Benjamin, and I really loved this story. It was kind of a historical fiction about the original author of Alice in Wonderland, and kind of the story of how he was inspired to write Alice in Wonderland and everything that came out of that. Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley. Various Positions by Martha Scarvis. The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, and this was another one of my favorite novels. Another Holocaust novel, which is Far to Go by Alison Pick. Sweet Francis by Irene Nemirovsky. Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks. Mr. Shakespeare's Bastard by Richard B. Wright. Divergent by Veronica Roth. Another young adult series that I just got into. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. It was not a happy ending for me. Insurgent by Veronica Roth. And then we finally have Allegiant by Veronica Roth. True Grit, which is a Western by Charles Ports. This, I've never read it, don't really plan on reading it. It was a novel for another one of my English classes. To Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. The Final Act of Mr. Shakespeare by Robert Winder. The Hunger Games by Susan Collins. Catching Fire by Susan Collins. Mockingjay by Susan Collins. Of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Steg Larsson. The Girl Who Played with Fire by Steg Larsson. And, ooh, really shiny, you can see me. Hello! The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest by Steg Larsson. And these are actually a really good series. I really enjoy these books. They're very dark, very deep, not for young readers, but they're very good if you're into more mature content. Okay, moving down to the next shelf, we have some books that I don't have room for above. We also have some shame books, some old books, but yeah, we'll just jump into it. So up here hiding, I have an old edition of Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet, once again by William Shakespeare. Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Another copy of Romeo and Juliet. Actually, I believe these are essays. Yeah, these are essays about Romeo and Juliet, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. Another discard book I found. And another collection of essays, Shakespeare essays, I believe. I should probably figure that out. Jane Austen box set, and I believe these are all of the Jane Austen novels. I'm not sure. This is kind of a funny story, but I have Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, And just to show you how cultured my mother is, I told her that I wanted Pride and Prejudice for Christmas, and this is what she thought it was. So yeah, I got this. Might be an interesting read. I'm not sure. I have mixed feelings about it, but I kept it because it was a gift and it's a book, and yeah, I love books. My Penguins Classics here. So I have Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and another copy of The Tales of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. This is a Reader's Digest collection of short stories. Nothing I've really ever heard of before. This isn't my book, but it's on the bookshelf. Next up, we have an author who I was really into during high school, and this is Cecilia Ahern. I have P.S. I Love You, Where Rainbows End, and If You Could See Me Now. And those are okay books to kind of, I don't know, maybe if you're on the beach or something reading them, that would be nice. But Annie, this was my mom's. Pages are falling out, but I just really like how it's old and it's a really nice book. Yeah. Marshall Saunders, Beautiful Joe. The Voice on the Radio, which you can see I got for $1 by Carolyn B. Cooney. Another actually really good underrated series. I really enjoyed this back in middle school. And then The Face on the Milk Carton, which is actually the first one in this series. There's 3 of them. I haven't found the 3rd one yet. I have The Gunslinger by Stephen King, and that's the first novel in the series. And then up here I have some books, some Montessori books. Yeah, just Maria Montessori, Montessori Approaches, and Essential Montessori, because I am really interested in the Montessori school systems and I like reading about them. And then also over here I have a sneaky William Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. I have Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, my Jodi Picoult novels. Now I wish this one had like the same line that these ones have, so it would match, but it doesn't. Oh well. I think when she puts books out at first, they don't have the line, and then she adapts them later with the line. I don't know, I'm not sure, but this is Lone Wolf by Jodi Picoult. Plain Truth by Jodi Picoult. Vanishing Acts by Jodi Picoult. Mercy by Jodi Picoult, which was really good. I enjoyed this one a lot. And Second Glance by Jodi Picoult. Okay, and then moving down to the final shelf, which is a bunch of randoms, which I'm not going to show them all to you because some of them are textbooks and a lot of them don't belong to me. But yeah, over here we just have a bunch of textbooks. Up here there's some comic books that my partner's reading. More textbooks. The Essential Calvin and Hobbes, which is cute. Justice League by Alex Ross. Justice League Origins. Some random comics. Massive The Walking Dead. My favorite manga series, which is Fruits Basket. So I have these big books here, have 3 of the smaller ones in them. So I have the first one here, the first one here, and then the second one, but technically I guess this is 3, 4, and 5, and then 6, 7, 8, I believe. Fruits Basket 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I love her. She's so cute. The Book of Negroes by Lawrence Hill. Books that kind of picked up a garage sale. Never really read them. Rowan Coleman's River Deep. Be With You by I don't know if you can see that, some Japanese author. The Outcasts of 19 Schuler Place by E.L. Konigsberg. Oh, this one was one of my favorite books in elementary school. I really loved this book. It's called Kaira Kaira by Cynthia Kadohara. And It's missing its dust sleeve, but The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, which I haven't read, but it was really, really popular quite a few years ago. And so yeah, now my bookshelf is a mess, and I'm going to go fix that. So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my book tour just as much as I enjoyed making it for you. I have rediscovered a few books that I want to reread again, and I hope it has inspired you to pick up some books yourself. I just wanted to say so sorry for the lighting and for the shakiness in this video. I don't have a tripod and it's kind of getting dark outside, but I wanted to make this video anyways, so I hope it doesn't bother you. Next time maybe I will have someone help me film it. So have a good day, everyone, and I will see you again soon. Bye!